It seemed at first like a very unpleasant thing, and indeed it took a while for the initial shock to fade. But fade it did, and eventually, the whole ordeal seemed like a faintly irritating sensation and not something to make a fuss about. And so they didn't make a fuss, and when it was over they exited the shed quietly in a single file. As they marched on between the tall angry trees, one of the walkers started to hum. Another followed suit, and soon they were all humming the same odd melody over and over again. The sky was a fading blue with streaks of blood across the horizon, and they thought it looked very pretty, and as the darkness grew so did the depth and slowness of their humming. Eventually, they reached a part of the forest where the trees grew scarce and a path snaked in between the undergrowth. They knew they were reaching the limits of the forest, but they kept on marching anyway. They stopped humming, for they sensed that there was a village nearby and that the sound of the humming might draw out the villagers. They did not want the villagers to see them yet. But a villager did see them, an old bent woman picking mushrooms. And when she saw them her face changed its shape, parts of it stretched out like taffy and other parts bulged out and a little escaped her white puckered lips. She stumbled backward and stared at them with wide eyes as they passed by, before staggering off into the nearby bushes. Now that they had been sighted they began humming again, only their humming had a different feel to it. The sky was a dark bruise like purple and the last golden bands had faded from the horizon. It was colder now, but they did not care and their marching did not stop. The walkers did not trust time, but they knew that not much of it had elapsed before they saw the village. The lamps in the street and lights in the windows made it hard to miss. They were walking parallel to it and were soon to pass right in front of it. They turned abruptly to the right and started marching towards the village. The rhythmic stamping of their feet was interrupted a strange sound, not unlike a bugle. The walkers stopped humming and began walking faster. At no point did they run or disturb the illusion of dignity that had surrounded them, but there was an unmistakable air of haste around them. As they came closer they saw that the main gate had been locked, and saw that the lights in the streets had gone out and that the windows in the houses had been covered by heavy dark drapes. The doors to all the houses were closed and a single ball lay abandoned in one of the streets. The walkers sighed and marched on into the lonely darkness. This content